ever screwed up big time, blew it, said the wrong thing? Guys, this is Matt the Man Cave. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. How often, and I said how often, do you lose it? Have you said the wrong thing? You did the wrong thing? Are people reminding you of your past? Maybe 5 years ago you did something. It was just absolutely terrible, and it's almost like it's haunting you. I mean, you get around family members, and they want to bring up something you did in high school. I mean, you want to know something? That drives me crazy because Christ is doing a new work in me every single day. But let me get off that. What do you do when you lose it, when you screw up, when you lose your witness? Well, it's in the Bible. We're going to be in Luke chapter 9. We're going to start with verse 23. Listen to this, but only one verse of what I'm reading is the key verse. And he said unto them, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. But whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall find it. What is the advantage if a man gain everything and lose his soul? Our key verse is this: pick up your cross daily and follow me. Every single day I drop the cross of Jesus Christ. Listen. Every single day, something takes place. I'm listening to the enemy. I let the enemy get the better of me. I let this person get the better of me. I know better, but the better that I know to do, I oftentimes don't do. Paul described this like this: oh, wretched man that I am, who can save me? Because there is a war going on in every one of us. Your flesh and your spirit are in the octagon every day, and they're battling it out. But what do I do when I finally catch reason? Meaning this, we've all acted abruptly. We've all done stupid stuff. We're like, oh my gosh. And then we start to think, man, that's right, I'm a Christian. I can't be saying that. I can't be doing that. And it's almost like we're on autopilot in our flesh. And then there's a moment in time when the Spirit reminds us, hey, you belong to me. About 3 nights ago, I was thinking some terrible thoughts about a person who had done me wrong. And I was just going over these imaginations of what I was going to do if this happened and what I was going to do if that happened. And I was in the midst of doing this in my mind. And all of a sudden, God said these words to me: he belongs to me. I mean, I was like, it sobered me up. I'm telling you, it sobered me up. God was saying, even though he's doing wrong, and even though he did this to you, which is not Christ-like, he belongs to me. There was a point in time when that individual prayed to God, got baptized, and maybe he's a little backslid. Maybe he's a lot like me. You know, I'm not squeaky clean. I'm not walking the line like Johnny Cash said I needed to. But here's the thing. Throughout the day, I dropped the cross. And I don't realize that I dropped the cross. And then like 5 seconds later, 10 seconds later, I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? And so I pick up my cross and I start following him. Friends, God came for sinners. He didn't come for the righteous. And so if you happen to drop your cross, once you realize that you dropped your cross, here's what you need to do. You need to pick up the cross. You need to pick back up the word. You need to get with God within your mind, within your heart. You may need to apologize to a person. And you may need to say, hey, I blew it. I lost it. I'm hangry. You know, you don't make excuses, but just say, I know better than that. Please forgive me. Whether they accept the apology or not, but more so, get with God and say, God, I know I grieved your spirit. I know I quenched your spirit. I know better than this. I don't know why I was in my flesh. Will you forgive me? God says the answer is yes. Throughout the day, you are going to drop your cross 20 times, 30 times. On certain days, some days you may not drop your cross at all. But what you need to do is pick up your cross. I dropped the cross. Did I mean to drop the cross? I didn't mean to drop the cross. Matt, you don't know what that person said to me. Oh, I do. Been there, done that. I've been backstabbed from some of the greatest in this world. I mean, I'm sitting there eating at a person's house, and not even 2 days later, they're stabbing me in the back over something I said that I thought was confidential. Friends, listen. When you drop your cross, I said when, pick it back up. Follow Jesus. Friends, there's nothing wrong with falling. You got to get back up. Jesus says the righteous fall and fall and fall and fall. But every time God has his hand there and he's helping you back up. Is there any sin that's greater than the blood of Christ? Absolutely not. What you've done is you've sinned against God. You got into your flesh. You got into your emotions. You let the enemy get the better of you or a person get the better of you. But now you're reflecting upon what I did, and it doesn't make you a horrible person. It makes you human. It means I live in flesh. It means I have the capacity to sin. It means this. This is the reason that Christ came and died for me, so I could be forgiven, so I could go to the Father yet again. The disciples were popping off to Jesus one day, and I like saying popping off because they were strutting around, acting like they are all righteous, you know? Hey, Jesus. Yes. How many times should I forgive that guy? You know, he keeps on doing me wrong. 7. Woo! Boy, look at me, St. Matthew. Jesus said 70 times 7. And you don't keep a piece of paper and write it down every time, meaning this. It's an exhaustible number because you sin against God weekly. Because be holy, for I am holy. You know what holiness is? Can I share this with you? God's asking me to be holy. Make that my goal. Make that my ambition. I can strive towards that. But holiness is perfection. It is the cutting away of. That's what it means. God is holy. And so I can see the cross. I can see Christ. I see what the end goal is. And when I drop my cross, after I catch my breath, I pick it back up and I continue running the race. I was watching a marathon sometime back, and this person, they were about 2 miles out and they were winning. And all of a sudden they went down hard and they're bleeding all over the place. And I thought, they're out of the race. There ain't no way. And they're kind of limping. And you could see coming up behind him all these other people. Do you know what that individual did? Got it together and started running to the best of their ability. But they were catching up, but they kept on running. But they were catching up, Matt, but they kept on running, persevering. Despite the blood is gushing out of this person. And when they're like 10 feet away, the person who fell persevered through the line. They had made it. Paul tells us in Ephesians to put on the whole armor of God. There are some times where I have the helmet of salvation on, you know, and I have the breastplate on. I have the girdle of truth on. I have the sandals of peace, man. I'm a peacemaker. I have the sword, and I'm using that thing offensively and defensively. And what do I have over here? I have the shield. And then all of a sudden, you know what I do? Watch this very carefully. The enemy blindsides me. You know what I do? I grab the freaking helmet and I slam it at the person. I rip off the breastplate. I kick off the shoes of peace. I take my sword, which is the word of God, and I go after the person, okay? And I'm holding up the shield in case they have a Glock. I mean, I'm throwing down the armor. I'm getting into my flesh. And it says, you want to roll? Let's roll. Guys, that's not godly. What do I need to do? I need to say, oh, what am I doing? Because that's not my armor. That armor's on loan from who? From King Saul? For David? No, it's on loan from God for me to hold it together, to hold tight. Got to put on the armor again. Got to pick up the cross again. Got to ask for forgiveness again. And then I got to start running again. This is the Man Cave.